Thanks for joining us.
Yep.
Um, so, on the Cup side tonight, we saw NLS Network uh, grinding out I'm not going to say caution-filled race because the first stage was pretty good, but and the third stage actually was pretty decent as well. But a up and down race, we'll call it. Second stage had a lot of cautions. We did end up going single file, unfortunately, there at the end of it. But nonetheless, NLS Network finds a way to put the 11 car in victory lane, picks up his first win of the year and of his career in HRL, and then you got the top 10 Shockz on the Cup side.
I was sending you your fantasy elimination updated points. I'll go track it down now.
Okay.
I just got to
While he's doing that, Tunda, why don't you go ahead and go over the truck side?
Yeah, I'm scrolling over. I took a clip of the finish today. Guarantee I got it. In your top 10 is going to be Brad in 10th. Up top, grabbed 9th. Seabass grabbed 8th. Midnight P7. He had the fastest lap today. I think that's his first one ever. So let's shout out to him.
Shout out Midnight, yep.
Tunda P6. Pretty cool guy. Shout out to him. Seabacon P5. Brad P4. Twinkie P3. Dirty Fox P2. And the expected winner, Mudflat, took it home. Not to say that it was given to him. It was a down to the wire on that one. Definitely had to be wide for the last 5-10 laps.
So it sounds like you had to work for it a little bit.
Oh yeah, we only had 2 or 3 cautions, but they fell in a way that the stages were already strictly fuel, but the third stage kind of turned into a bit of a fuel race and a battle of patience and wits. So decent race overall. I think it went well.
Did you come up with the top 10 there, Shockz?
Oh yeah, you're gosh darn right I did.
I bought enough time.
Let's hear it.
So rallying in the P10 is the newly 01 car of Tango. P9, Bren secures another top 10. I believe that's 3 in a row. Row the boat in P8, Shadow 7th, Tyreek in 6th, Blue Star 5th, DJ Win in 4th, myself in 3rd, Stein 2nd, and your first time winner NLS.
So a lot of names you'd expect there in the top 10. I will give a shout out to a couple guys that caught my ear there. It was Shadow in 7th. Shout out to him. That's a good run for him for Scuderia. And also Tango grabbing a top 10. I'm not looking at the point sheet, but that might be his first top 10 of the season as well. So a couple guys there that you might not expect on a weekly basis to hear in the top 10. So want to give them shout outs there. Now that we've gotten 3 weeks into the season here, I do kind of want to do something that we haven't really done so far, and that's kind of go over some of the standings. I mean, obviously we haven't done the points from tonight, but so I'll do that real quick. So far, we actually have, coincidentally, our guest tonight, Cup driver Tatahead, in the lead. He's won 2 out of the first 4 races now, so no surprise that after the first 3, getting 2 wins there, he leads. Although it is by a slim margin over Linecone there in 1 point back, and Shockz 2 points back.
I was gonna say it won't be too long.
But yeah, so going into tonight, you had those 3 guys separated by 2 points. Pretty crazy. You got all these rookies coming in, and yet you still have pretty much the 3 top drivers from last season running 1, 2, 3 there after 3 races. After that, we do start to see some rookies or newer drivers. We have Blue Star 26 back in 4th, Stein 34 back in 5th, Spartan 41 back in 6th, Dark Pumps 43 back in 7th, NLS Network, who won tonight. He was coming into this race in 8th place, 44 back, so he's probably going to find himself up there in the top 4 or 5 now after this race. Cobra, 47 back in 9th. And then Tyreek edged me for the pause. But Tyreek edged me for...
Humongous pause right there.
Humongous pause there. Tyreek got me for that P10 there. after I was docked 10 points for my absolutely insanely aggressive driving last week. No, but yeah, he rounds out the top 10, and then I'm sitting there in 11th. A couple other notable guys. We got T Glass in 12th, Brendan tied for 12th. DJ Wynn, who we saw win Rookie of the Year last year, finds himself in 16th so far. Scarecrow in 19th. Welp Dang, a name you wouldn't expect to see so far down in 20th, but I do believe he missed a race. And yeah, that's some guys off to a rough start. We'll see how things shake out after tonight. Tunda, you want to kind of run us over the truck side?
Well, we had 30, 30, 75 was the lengths, and we had 26 on fuel, so it was a fuel-saving race from the jump. But it seemed like some
We're
guys.
talking about standings. We're
Oh,
talking about
standings. My bad. I wasn't really paying attention. I was reading the
Yeah.
chat. I was trying to be active with everybody, get those clips in. But
Yeah, give us a little update on the truck standings so far.
let's see what we got. I think you're making me dig. I think Mudflap is gonna be in or near the points lead if he isn't already. Yeah, he's gonna extend that up. Jack's not gonna hold second there. He had kind of a tough day, but overall, I think the points are gonna start to settle into positions. Everyone finished within like 3 or 4 of their expected. The rookies are looking really good, and I think there's going to be quite a few free agents in the playoffs. All right, that was my Tommy Baldwin moment of the week.
Any guys any guys in the top 5 or top 10 that you want to shout out there on the truck side so far?
I think it's the guys up there. They know who they are, is to be expected, and the guys we expected to fight in the top 5 of this division are absolutely battling it out in the points, and the specialists have started to show up. We've already had a couple of plate races. We could see them kind of performing themselves. I think Twinkle Toes, he's been improving on all the tracks, but he ran up front most of the night. It was like no, he seemed like a good guy to follow, but maybe not a good guy to be in front of. Which, depending on which side you're on, that could be good or a bad thing. But if you're trying to save and you have someone like that wants to push and go, that's the guy you kind of want. So shout out to him today, and that'll should move him up in the points a bit. Like he's not. That's not too far out of character. He's sitting P7, but as we get some more races in here, like next week, I think those Cup guys are going to flex a little bit more.
Anybody maybe outside the top 10 or so that you were kind of like, I would have expected him to be up a little bit higher so far through 3 races or 4 races?
Not really. Everything's kind of settling in, and everything's pretty justified. Other than the guys that are showing a little bit further back on the points due to lag outs and stuff, the on-track performance is pretty much showing on the sheet.
All right. I wanted to go over team points also real quick, but before I do, was there anything else that you guys wanted to add? Tatahead, you could chime in if you want to as well. I know we haven't really got over to you yet, but anything that you guys want to add about the race tonight that you feel like you want to get off your chest or something?
I think we did a good job of not getting cautions. We were definitely calmer than we were last week in the truck race. That's not to say that we didn't have a lot of accidents. I do expect a lot of clips to come in, but we kept it green, and for the most part, guys would, if there was a flare-up, they'd settle down and figure it out. So I guess we got to commend that, but I'd still like to see more heads-up driving, especially going into somewhere with a wall on both sides of the track.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, for the Cup side, stage 1 was really good. Looked like everybody was respecting one another and keeping it 2 wide, 3 wide at very limited times until the end of the stage, but still went good. Stage 2, I must have missed the opposite day motto, because that's about what stage 2 was. Just threw all that, threw it out the window, and said, let's just run each other over for the fun of it. And then stage 3 got back on the right path, trended in the right direction, and ended up having a green flag pit stop to end the race. So very good, very bad, and decent for the end there. So step in the right direction.
Tunda, real quick, what was the truck number? What's Mudflap's truck number? Do you have it on the top of your head?
He's number 7.
Okay. I was gonna put his thing up
Yeah,
on
I
the
think it's
background for the
Kyle
stream.
Busch. Yeah.
Yep, it is. Only fitting Tatahead's here for this. But yeah, I mean, from my perspective, I don't really have a lot to say because I wasn't really competitive tonight. If we're being frank, qualified terribly, never had a setup I felt comfortable with, and I was kind of telling Crow that before we went live. I realized pretty quickly that I didn't feel comfortable, and when I don't feel comfortable, I don't want to race around like a pack too much because I just don't want to be the guy who is making mistakes that end up ruining other people's day. So if you watched my race from my stream, I kind of hung around, 20th all day. Me and Crow were back there together for a large part of it. Even the one time I did gain track position by staying out, I dropped pretty quickly. Just way too tight. Could never get the handling of the car that I wanted, and ultimately I was lucky to come away with I think I finished 13th, just because like a handful of guys sped or had mistakes on that last run there on pit road. But yeah, so I mean, I just don't feel like I'm the best one to really talk about how the race went because I wasn't really in the thick of it for the most part. But Tater, you got anything?
Um, I don't know. The top tonight it was weird. Like even with the graboid throughout the whole
Agreed.
race, the top just wasn't working, and I
The
don't know why.
bottom, the bottom. I'm really glad we did graboid because the bottom seems to be
Yeah.
extremely dominant, at least for the cup cars. And I think there were certain parts where people weren't respecting the graboid. If I'm completely honest, from what I could see at times of the race, so have to. I didn't hear any complaints in the Discord, but at certain parts there was looking like some guys were pushing when they weren't supposed to be. Um, but yeah, the bottom was so dominant. You really had to have the right grouping on the high side to make it work. Now, when you did, it was a missile. Don't get me wrong, but it was strange at times. I'm gonna agree with Dana.
It was like every time that I was like trying to be a little bit more aggressive and like maybe try to make some moves through the field. If I was on the bottom and I entered low, like on the bottom, I would have to let off so much to stay on the bottom, and it's just not. I don't have enough laps at Echopark. I should have done more. So like I didn't feel comfortable down there because I felt slow or I was worried that I was gonna wash up because I was tight and I didn't want to like go up into somebody. And then when I was on the top, it was the same thing. I was tight. I put it in the wall like 3 to 5 times tonight just because I just could not turn. I don't know if my wedge or my tire pressures were not what they were supposed to be, but all in all, a very weird night. I don't often feel like I just don't have a clue as in terms of you know
Was it the
getting through the
draft
corners.
itself?
Well, I mean, it did seem like when I was like behind a car, my car would get even more tight for sure. I mean, I know Scarecrow saw it where like I'd just be following a car, and then all of a sudden my car would just go to the right, like it just would stop turning.
Yeah, it was.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But yeah, I don't think it was a perfect race. Like I said, it was kind of like a tale of three race or three stages, right? First stage was pretty good. Second stage was unspeakably bad, pretty much, and then stage three, wasn't too terrible. There was a couple incidents, but we cleaned it up from what we saw in stage two. But if nobody else has anything on Echo Park, we can go ahead and move on to the team standings. You want to go ahead and run us through that, Scarecrow?
Sure, I can do it.
Through three
It'll be
races?
it'll be prior to tonight's races, obviously. Leading the
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
Extreme Speed Motorsports with 496 points so far. Trophy Hunter in second place, 16 back. Prestige Worldwide sitting 39 points behind. Nightmare Racing 83 points back, and Scuderia Tunda 128 back. Trophy Hunter currently leads the way with 2 wins. Nightmare has one, as well as Extreme Speed and Scuderia all have one each.
And then I believe NLS drives for Prestige, so he picked up their first win of the season, Sure, I'm there.
Second.
Everybody's won a race now, or no, they got two.
They
Okay.
got two, yeah.
So Trophy Hunter and Prestige now have two. Okay. Yeah, I mean, so I'm looking at it now. It's not exactly what we might have thought going into the season. I kind of one of our questions later is going to allude to that. But yeah, some interesting different things there regarding the team standings so far. Um, let's move on to the grill the guest segment. Like I said, you've heard from him a little bit already. We got Cup Driver and I'll just say points leader through three races with us tonight because I don't know how things are going to shake out
Yeah,
with the points. But
they're gonna change.
regardless, the only driver to have multiple wins in the Cup Series so far through four races, and that's Tatahead. Like I said, thanks for joining us tonight. We're gonna do grill the guest in this segment, which is kind of we're all gonna bounce a question off of you, and you just kind of answer it the best you can.
Okay.
So I'll start. Uh, Me racing with you long enough, you're not a guy who lacks confidence at all. You show a lot of speed, and you know you're fast pretty much everywhere you show up to. We even talked about it a little bit before we went live. Your issue typically tends to be just not making those mistakes or getting caught up in those incidents that kind of turns a great race for you into a bad one. You kind of mentioned it yourself. You've had two wins, and then the other two, you've left a lot on the table points wise due to things like that. But my question ultimately for you is going to be, I mean, you ran top three last season. I mean, it was basically Shockz, you and Cone in terms of like points per race last season.
Yeah.
Given all these new guys that I know you're familiar with from Mondays and other places, what were your expectations going into this season as far as like contending for a title or the point standings in general? And also, are you surprised to have already found two wins through the first three races?
I'm very surprised that I've won two of the first four races because coming into the season, I expected to be in the fifth to sixth range because I feel like there's a couple of guys from ODRL here that are just a little faster than me, and I expected them to be going better so far, but they haven't, and I still expect them to. So I don't expect to stay first the whole season, but the start that I've had gives me a better chance at that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned it maybe an episode or two ago. I think it might have been just after the Dega race where
Mhm.
um, you know that you can win on a handful of tracks at least for sure. So to steal one at a track like Talladega is even like a cherry on top because like that's kind of like a wild card race and it's not even really one of the ones you're like banking on, you know.
Mhm.
So so yeah, definitely an impressive start to the season for you. I did have another quick question. Were you we didn't really get to talk to you before the draft. What were your expectations on where you thought you were going to get drafted, and ultimately, were you surprised by where you went?
I was expecting to go first round for sure. I didn't think I was going to be first, but I didn't think I would be like fourth or fifth. So I expected a two to three range, and I wasn't surprised at that at all.
Yeah, I think Twinkie took you second, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct? Yeah, yeah, second overall. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't surprised at all. That's kind of where I had you in my mock.
Yeah.
So, but I was just curious to what you might have thought where you would go. Let's bounce it over to Tunda. I guess you got a question for Tater.
Yeah, with all the hype with around the line cone versus Shock's battle that we've been talking about on here,
Mhm.
and with all the new ODRL guys coming in, did you expect to uh get three out of the first four races as wins?
Well, he's got two out of four, but yeah,
Two out of four. You know what I meant.
yeah.
Did you expect to
No,
do so well so soon against those guys?
no. Coming into the season, seeing the names that were here, I was hoping to just get one win. So to have two in the first four is amazing. And like the two tracks I won at were the like out of the first four, those will be the two that I would expect at least to win because I don't really like Dover. So, you know,
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of piggybacking off my question there. Um, but
Yeah, you stole mine. I didn't have time to come up with a whole different one.
but no, I think Tata would agree that I mean this is probably the most stacked Cup field we've seen
Oh
in
yeah.
HRL. Um, Now I love to see that because I'm a guy who wants to drive against the best there is.
Hmm.
I brought all these guys over, or at least not me specifically, but like we brought all these guys and I helped bring these guys over because that's what I want. I want to build this division into something that's more competitive, a stronger field, even if it means I might finish 10th in the standings instead of third.
Hmm.
I don't care about that. I'm not gonna not invite somebody to the series because they're gonna run faster than me. I mean
Yeah.
that's not my mo. On the same token with that, you got a lot of guys who have a lot of pride and are used to running up front. And I think we see that a little bit so far as well in terms of guys who like think that they should win every week, and if they don't, it's the end of the world. So it's a give and take. There's the pros and cons to it, but I definitely like the talent that we've accrued this season. Shockz, you got anything for Tata?
Yeah, I got two questions. Just because I really like the guy. Um, question one is, up to this point, what do you consider your favorite HRL memory? And
Oh.
then, second part of my question, which is completely unrelated to that, is
Hmm.
rumor has it one of your greatest friends might have helped you on getting a wheel, perchance. I want to
Okay.
know. I want to know what has been the biggest adjustment with getting used to the wheel, and what do you love most about it?
Okay. My favorite HR. Well, that was the first part. Was my favorite HRL moment.
Yes, a memory moment. Yeah, that's that.
Okay. Probably the regular season championship, season X, season 10, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
sounds right.
sure.
Rings a
I
bell.
think that was season 10. And then, yes, a great friend of mine uh, let me have his old wheel. And
Great friend.
you said,
Well, what a
yeah,
guy.
great friend. And you said the biggest adjustment?
Yeah, like what's been the biggest adjustment, and kind of like what do you love most about it?
The biggest adjustment was really getting used to the brake pedal. Because, I mean, I never drive,
Yeah,
I don't drive with 2 feet. So
yeah.
getting used to the brake pedal took a lot. And then, um, you said the best feature about it, what?
Yeah, like what do you just love the most about it? Maybe
I
more the
love the
realism with it,
most.
but
Yeah, definitely the more realism, like especially at the super speedways, it's just so much easier than being on a controller. Like
yeah.
especially Atlanta, it's just so easy to just hold a line.
Um, do you attribute your two wins to being on the wheel?
Yeah, absolutely,
Hmm.
Interesting.
definitely.
Sounds like you got a good friend. I mean, I don't
I
know if I would call
Fred
him
know.
a good
must have
friend,
left a little magic on the wheel, I guess.
He
but
must have.
um, very good. Crow, you got anything for Tata?
Uh, yeah, a little bit. Question. Tata,
Hmm.
you're getting closer to that 10 total win mark.
Hmm.
Uh, what would that feel like to kind of get double digit wins here in HRL? And which one do you think was one of your most hardest earned victories out of all
Mm.
8 so far?
Ooh, man, to
Gotta
get
think
10,
now.
that would be awesome. I mean, just to even think about being double digits, that'd be cool. Um, which one was the hardest? Okay, or which one was the best? Probably. Um, I mean, the first one obviously it feels the best, but probably Dover last week. Seriously, because I was running new wheel settings and it took me like over half the race to get adjusted to it. Then I had to run the guy down from like 3 or 4 seconds back in like 20 laps and pass him and drove away from him. So I think that was my overall best win was Dover.
All right. I think that'll wrap up Grill the guest segment with Tata. Thank you for trying to answer those questions real quick on the fly. I
Hmm.
feel like you did a pretty good job there. If feel free to stick around with us for the rest of the show.
Mhm.
But if you have to dip out at some point, it's perfectly fine as well.
Okay.
It's at this point of the show that we normally switch over to the fact or fiction segment. Um, as I always say, if you guys came up with any that you want to like add in here, just feel free to do so. But I did come up with 3 on my own. Um, I'll start with number 1. If Jack Bauer didn't move to trucks, defending champion Mudflap would already have a 37-point lead through 3 races. Is Jack Bauer the only driver who could dethrone Mudflap from going back to back? Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Go ahead, Tunda.
Fiction. Um, I think that Jack is settling in nicely into the truck series, but I think if he wasn't there, Mudflap would be on the same run he is. He's continuing his hot streak. He got on in the second half of last season, and he continues to put the work in. But if anybody stops him, it's gonna be uh could be anybody. I don't think it's gonna be Jack necessarily, but I don't think Jack is a determining factor in that.
So it sounds like you think Mudflap very well could, you know, repeat
He's
and go
got a
back to back
shot. I'm
here.
not 100% saying he's going to win the title, but I think it's going to be something closer to like hit his internet or someone else getting hot later in the season, or a couple of these other guys that are fast finishing races or not getting caught up in wrecks or so. If they can keep their nose clean like Mudflap has so far, they'll be right up there with him.
Yeah, you're essentially saying fiction because you don't think it's necessarily going to be Jack that's going to be his kryptonite. It could be a number of guys.
I also think Jack is probably gonna be somewhere in the middle of the top 10. There's just a lot of competition, and um, it's rough out there.
Um, I guess I'll just go here real quick. I'm going to say fact. I I know Jack's had a couple rough races here the last couple, but I would you know what, I'll say it. I'll be shocked if Mudflap and Jack don't finish the season 1-2. Um, I think they are the two best drivers, and I'm not saying that Jack will be able to beat Mudflap, but I think if anybody does it, I have a feeling it would be Jack. So I'll say fact. Tato, what do you say?
Okay, can you restate the fact or fiction question?
Yeah, it's like so Mudflap would have a 37-point lead through 3 races, plus he won tonight. Let's keep that in mind. Um, so it's probably larger. And he would have that if Jack wasn't in trucks, because I think Jack's not so far behind. He's the one that's kind of within striking distance of Mudflap. So the question is, if Jack didn't move down,
Hmm.
would Mudflap just kind of have smooth sailing to a championship, and Jack, he's the only one that can challenge him basically?
Uh, I don't know much about the trucks, but based off the point standing, I'm gonna say fact because it seems like Mudflap is the only one that can really, run away with races. I don't know enough about the trucks, so I don't. I think it's fact.
All right, Scarecrow.
Huge fat guy.
I'm gonna go with fiction. I think Mudflap struggles here the next few races, and I think somebody other than Jack kind of surprises us and comes out of the weeds here and starts to give him a run for his money. So fiction.
All right, so we got Tunda and Crow saying fiction, and me and Tata saying fact so far. Be the tiebreaker, Shockz.
You know,
He's your driver.
yeah, you keep doing this to me. I feel like on a weekly basis, just ruining my team chemistry. But for one, I think Crow just keeps choosing the opinion that's least popular because I think he just wants to make it more even. But that's beside the point. I am gonna go fiction because, you know, when it gets to the chase
Whoa.
and having and having 6 races left, points are closer, stakes are higher. It all is about who is hot going into the chase. Now we've ran 2 super speedways, a mile and a half, and a short track. And the short track last week for them was did not sound ideal. We have had a very trackless. Standings are still kind of lopsided right now. We got time to iron this out. I think Mudflap's going to have a little more trouble, a little more competition as the season goes. We just got to give time for those guys to get comfortable. They're still adjusting. I mean, we went from, a few of those guys went from the cup to the truck. Some guys know what they have against Mudflap, but now they know Mudflap better than ever. So I'm gonna go fiction. I think we got more competition on the way.
All right, so it sounds like Shockz is gonna lean towards fiction there, and that'll make it 3-2 in terms of fiction. Yeah, I mean it's valid. It's we're through 3 or 4 races now. It's completely valid to say it's too early to tell based on that. But all right, so fact or fiction two. Um, this one's relevant to this race that I knew we were gonna run, so it's a perfect time to ask this. Uh, the last HRL points race at Echopark prior to tonight was the Clash last season, and that was prior to the drafting update, as we all know. And then also, for those that maybe didn't catch it or weren't aware, we did run the Graboid package that you saw at Dega and the Manus Memorial tonight as well. So those are the two things that are different about this race as opposed to the Clash last season. Um, the statement will be the new drafting update slash the package, that being the Graboid, made the racing much better tonight at Echopark. Fact or fiction?
I'm
Um,
going fiction with this
go
one,
ahead.
Nilla.
Okay.
Actually, I just changed my mind. I'm going fact.
What is this guy?
No, I think it was a lot of fun. I mean, we were stage one. We ran 30 laps green there, and then there at the end, we had green flag pit stop. It was a lot of fun. The bottom lane, like Shock said earlier, is definitely a little bit quicker, but you could definitely get the outside lane rolling. And with the package, it kind of forced people, not forced people, but kind of encouraged guys to slide up the track a little bit off the bottom lane and not push the leader up on the bottom as hard. So I'll go fact on that one. I think it's much improved from the Clash last season.
Um, NLS runs the 11 car, right? Is that
Yes.
correct?
Potentially.
I switched it. I switched it over to the 11 so he can get some love. What say you, Shocks? Fact or fiction?
Um, I'm gonna go fact here. I just, I hate. What was nice with the old package is that we had some form of side draft. Now the problem was it was just way too much, and anytime you even tried to draft a guy, you side drafted him. That did stink. So for the fact, I am gonna go fact that it made it better. Um, I am gonna say, are we including the graboid in this answer, or are we just going solely based off the update?
Update plus package. Yeah,
Okay,
both.
so I would go update fact, and I'm gonna go graboid even bigger fact, because
Okay.
kind of like what we talked about, it was gonna be a very bottom dominant train, kind of like old Atlanta, except you were mostly full throttle most of the time. So it would have been just a bunch of guys trying to force guys off the bottom line, turning them, roughing them up. I think the graboid was the only reason that the outside had some success tonight, and it still even was a little difficult to get going unless you had the right guys. So for that, I'm gonna say fact.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick on the fact train here. In reference to the drafting update, I mean that was much better. Obviously, the clash was just brutal from what I remember. I remember being out front in that race at one point and just having a guy hooked to my bumper and just like slowing me down by like 5-10 miles an hour. So that's like not even a question. That's easy fact. In terms of the graboid, I mean it's hard to say. I'm gonna say fact though. It's the reason why I say it's hard to say is just because I wasn't really competitive tonight. I couldn't really navigate it and kind of really see and make moves and like I really wasn't racing to be honest. I was just turning laps for the most part. I had an ill handling car and I didn't have the talent tonight. So but from what I could see in front of me, I mean I ran the back. I mean I ran 20th like at the end of a 20 car pack and I saw a lot of two car racing or side by side racing, two groove racing, and like you said, we didn't typically see that at Atlanta in previous races. It was more bottom heavy, just trying to, like you said, find a chance to potentially squeeze your nose and get under a guy. So I'll say fact for the graboid as well. I think it provided a little bit more side-by-side racing, even if I wasn't really a part of it.
Hmm.
Tunda?
I'm gonna go fiction actually. The draft felt nicer, but it almost feels like if we had the package the way it was before, the truck race itself at least would have been a bit cleaner. I think some of the runs that were going on wouldn't have been necessarily as strong, and they would have been slowed down by the side draft and by trying to push, slowing you down so much and trying to avoid that. And I don't think the graboid package would have helped us either, because of the way the fuel window was. Um, the front of the line really wasn't getting pushed a lot unless you were trying to catch up or run away, which there really wasn't a lot of time to do the running away part. And if you were trying to catch up, you were kind of trying to balance also not running out of fuel yourself. So the leader wasn't really getting pushed anyway. Yeah, I think the race kind of just would have been safer on the old draft package, and if they could give us a combination of the updated and then the bring back the side drafting from before, perhaps with like a smaller box maybe that just doesn't go so far back on the car. We'd be moving up on to the front of the wheel arch there, but yeah, I'm gonna go fiction.
All right. Tato, what do you say?
I say fact for sure. It made the racing better because with the old before the update, I mean, it wasn't even racing. It was misery, really. It'd be hard to not make it better than what it was. I think the grab, like Shock said, I think the grab boy just made it even better than what it would have been without it. But yes, the racing was just so much better because you could push and like if you had the right person up top, it would work. And like even like everything was just so much better to me, in my opinion.
All right, so we got four facts, and then Tunda being the lone fiction there on the truck side. So it kind of just sounds like the truck and the
It made
everybody on the cup side
Talladega
kind of said
better,
fact.
but it made Atlanta either the same or worse depending on the angle you take,
Gotcha.
in my opinion.
So the third and final fact or fiction question I have here is going to be it's going to be related to team standings. So in our preseason team rankings, we all pretty much, I don't want to say all of us had them last, but we all had them in fourth or fifth slot, I'm pretty sure, when we did our preseason rankings. We all had Trophy Hunter ranked low. We didn't really think that they had a good draft for multiple reasons. But however, through three races, again, can't include tonight, haven't done the math yet, but through three races, they sit second in team points, only 16 back of, I believe, Extreme Speed, and are the only team prior to tonight with two multiple wins. As we know, Prestige joined them with two tonight. But the fact or fiction is going to be we were wrong and underestimated Trophy Hunter Racing coming into this season. Fact or fiction? Shockz.
Well. I
I did.
I guess I'm gonna say fact, but per my calculated research I did preseason, I was told that the 6 car was gonna be part-time. Now Blue Star is an absolute dog who has incredible speed, and I wish I would have known that he was gonna run all these races back when I did the draft. That's beside the point. Um, when he was supposed to be part-time, I still would say that they are in a much tougher predicament. But with him running full time and running all the races, I would say yes, we underestimated them technically. I just don't feel like I
All
had
right.
the correct question on the test.
All right. Well, since you opened the door and set this up for you, or set yourself up for this, if you had known Blue Star was going to run all the races, who would you have drafted him over on your team currently?
Well. Aren't you just a smart little cookie? First of all, I don't think
I love the drama, right?
I couldn't have, because he was picked ninth before my second and third pick, and I wouldn't have took him pick one. So
So there's nothing you could have done then.
I have
You got
escaped
lucky
from
with
your
that.
question. Now, if I didn't make the
Okay.
trade, then we could have a more serious argument here, but that did not occur. So,
All right. I guess I gotta skip you, Tata, because you didn't do the.
No, you can
you
ask
know,
me.
Well,
Keep going,
you
keep
didn't have
going,
him
keep
ranked
going.
low. You didn't have him ranked low. You didn't do rankings, so I mean, I guess I put a bad question there in
It's
terms of
okay.
you having an answer for it. But let's just you can add your your take on it. What did you when you looked at Trophy Hunter's roster, post draft? Did you look at it and be like, oh, they could be a force, or did
Yeah,
you kind of like us? Did you kind of think that they were one of the teams that are going to finish towards the bottom?
I was excited because I mean I feel like if everybody knew just how fast Blue Star was, he wouldn't have made it out of the first round. So I was
Yeah.
spamming Twinkie like, take him right here. I'm telling you, take him. Trust me. And I'm so glad he did. So I'm happy. I'm extremely happy with how it went.
Maybe Blue
Yeah, I
Star
mean, it
just
sounds
doesn't
like
like me and lied to me. Maybe we need to start that debate.
but it sounds like everybody's kind of talking about Blue Star. Blue Star, like he's the thing that's carrying Trophy Hunter Racing right now. But what about the guy who's got 2 wins?
I
I
was
mean,
gonna say,
like I
Well,
mean, so.
old Tata.
I'm not going to brag on myself. I feel like
So we're gonna
once
put down fact for Shockz. So what about you, Tunda?
I'm gonna go
are you ready to
fact.
admit that you might have been wrong?
I mean, I can't remember what I said, but I know their truck team is going to be real fast. They're going to have two trucks in the top 10 at all times, unless calamity happens, which sometimes it does. But I think they had two in the top 10 tonight, once again. And with the new point system, they're going to be something.
So I mean, you look at the team rosters, right? And it's not just Blue Star for me. I uh, I didn't feel like I think Dirty Fox has done a little bit better than I would have expected him to do so far. I thought Seabake would drop a little bit in terms of like average finish with all the Cup guys dropping down, and then I just wasn't sure what to expect from Dave. He didn't run a full schedule last season, so I think when I had them ranked low, it was not necessarily because I didn't think Blue Star and Tata were gonna be able to carry the Cup side. It was more that I didn't think they had a real as balanced team as maybe some of the others. But I mean, hey, I have to say fact. I mean, they're proving me wrong. I know it's only been 3 or 4 races so far, but yeah, I'll say I was wrong and say that I underestimated them a little bit. What about you, Crow?
I'll be the odd one out, I guess, and I'll go fiction. Um,
You're not
I,
buying it.
I'm
You're
not
not
This
buying
buying
it.
it.
guy,
I think it's early in the season. Kind of like what y'all was saying. I think Blue Star, not knowing if he was going to race the full season or not, and I don't know. I just think these other stables have some stronger horses that I think as we go on into the season, I think that'll start to play out a little bit stronger per se. And so yeah, I'll go with fiction on that one.
All right. So we did not have any clean sweeps in terms of everybody agreeing. So I did my job this week.
Nilla's improving. You love to see
I
it.
did my job. All right. So did y'all have any fact or fictions y'all wanted to add in, or are we moving on to the mailbox?
Moving
That's a
on.
great question.
I didn't bring
We're
nothing.
moving on.
All right. I have two mailbox questions, and they both are not racing related, and they both come from Ryan Hurricane. The first one, if
Mm-hmm.
he says, if you want to ask a serious fact or fiction question next week, ask the guests, does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yes.
100% yes.
no,
What am I listening to right now? There's no way I just heard two
no,
yeses.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh
With
gosh.
with roasted red peppers and ham.
Immediate admin removal.
yeah.
Not even up for vote. What?
Uh, so it sounds like Shockz and Tata say no,
This
and
guy's
Crow and
never
Tunda
had a
say
Hawaiian
yes.
pizza.
What I will say is, would I ever order a pineapple and ham or bacon pizza? No, I don't think I would because I think there's much better options. But if I'm at a party or an event and I'm hungry and they got a pineapple and ham pizza sitting there as the like only pizza option, I'll eat it. I mean, it's not bad.
Well, I
It's
mean, you
fine.
gotta leave the pepperoni on too, of course.
Well, yeah, yeah, that's fine. It's more just I'll eat a pizza with pineapple on it. You know, if it's what's there, I won't order it, but Yeah, and then the second question is actually for Tatahead.
Mm.
He says, does Tata consider himself a cannibal when eating French fries or other various potato foods?
Ooh,
Um,
good one.
I, I don't think I've ever thought that
I've
once.
been wondering that myself.
so, so no, I don't. I might start thinking about it now and think that maybe I should stop eating these.
So, like, are you a potato, or do you just like really like potatoes?
Well,
Because that could be it too.
I don't want to say the reason that this is my name because then everybody's going
Uh-oh.
to take the joke and run with it. So I'm not going to say it. So
Oh, not the P
Release
word.
the
I'm
files.
not saying it. I'm not doing it.
Uh, no, but
I just love
no,
potatoes. How
when
about
he
that?
sent me that, I was like, when he sent me that, like, I was like, I knew that was gonna cause a stir. That question. But yeah, those were the only two I got. Shockz, you want to go ahead and jump into the ones that you received?
Crow, do you want to ask yours, or do you want me to just read those?
You can read both.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna read what I see on the screen here. With anonymous question here, with the consistent no-call yellows made by the game under the current relaxed yellows we run, added with how it has seemed to cause a lot of unnecessary hostility among drivers. Out of all the three options, is there talks of moving to strict yellows, remaining relaxed, or the possibility of manual cautions?
Who wants to
Can I
go
go
first?
first?
Um,
Can I go
go
first?
ahead, Tunda.
Yeah, go ahead, Tata.
Oh, I thought
Ta
Tata had wanted to.
Tata or Tunda? I didn't.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
You go ahead, Tata.
Everybody's free
Okay,
to go
I'll
ahead.
go first then. I would like. I don't know. As the season has gone on, I've liked the just the relaxed cautions with no manuals more, but I feel like at some point it would be nice to introduce like running relaxed, and then like if there's a three-car wreck and no caution, we could also run manuals with relaxed cautions on. Like there's some wrecks that five cars get taken out, and for some reason there's no caution, and then they're screwed over. Like I feel like that would be a good time that we could run a manual even with relaxed cautions on.
Tunda.
I think as a HRL historian myself, I think we've tried all the options, and the best thing that we can do at this scale with the tools that we have is to run relaxed and you, like normalize being careful. Like y'all gotta calm down. Like we know the conditions that are gonna bring out a caution. It's a two-car crash above the apron on the racing surface, and if it's not that, then you're not gonna get it. And in the past, when we've tried to supplement that with manual cautions, it led to an era of only manual cautions because the when we were pacing, some people tend to struggle with that. Sometimes it'll just be a long night. It happens, but then we'll get a relaxed caution cause during pacing on a manual caution. So we just shut that off, and then there were just not enough eyeballs, and there were accusations of a little bit of impropriety at the time. So we went back to the previous relaxed cautions, still none on the road courses, because the alternative is strict cautions, which is one car sideways, and that's just too strict, in my opinion. The best thing I think we can do is hope for a better game and send in feedback to iRacing. Quite honestly.
Yeah, I know this is a very split topic of discussion in HRL. From my standpoint, I've done league racing for, quite a bit now, and I've done a lot of relax, I've done a lot of manuals. I think both sides have an argument. I think there's pros and cons to doing both. Um, if I had to lean one way, I probably would lean relaxed over manuals. I just think the pros outweigh the cons a little bit more on that side. Maybe that's just me speaking as an admin, because we'd be the ones in charge of, you know, making sure everything's run the way it needs to be in manuals. Um, the biggest pro on the manual side to me, from my standpoint, isn't even the one car spin, two car spin, and that like whether a caution comes out. Actually, I think the relaxed cautions are good enough on that side. You don't get everyone that you feel like you deserve, but they're pretty accurate. But the one thing that I would enjoy with manuals is the ability to um, better regulate the driving in race
Mm.
in terms of like a strike system or something like that. As far as like you go to manual. We've seen this done in other leagues. Tata knows, Shockz knows. You go to manual and then you ride around under pace speed and you determine the cause of the caution, and you can kind of penalize people right there on the spot. I do think that is the one pro that I would enjoy with manuals, but I just don't know if it's enough to sway me at this juncture. What do you
That-
say, Shockz?
I'm going to give the opposite answer of Tata right now, I believe.
Whoa.
I have enjoyed relaxed yellows, and I think they're great because I love the fact of getting the race started by 8:35, being done by 9:45, 10 o'clock. I'm not going to bed extremely late. I love that part of it. Um, but with no ability of being able to look at replays of races or going back and reviewing incidents besides clips that guys have to take during the race. Um, my mic is apparently totally dead on the stream, so
I can hear you.
uh, I think it's good to party, but on the stream it's apparently dead. I don't know.
Have you
Include your
tried to back out
audio.
and come back in?
Let me just plug it back in.
Here, go ahead.
Somebody else
Go
talk.
ahead, Crow.
I'm gonna throw the oddball out here, and I'm gonna say I'm team no cautions at all. Uh, very
Agent of
unpopular,
chaos.
but I think it's the most completely fair to everybody. Um, you know what it is. You know how if you do something a little sketchy here or there, and it could come back to bite you. If you get wrecked or somebody puts you in the fence and you get some damage, that might be your race there. So you kind of have to drive a little smarter, try to avoid, sketchy situations. Maybe driving 3 wide, 4 wide on lap two, and it bites you. That might be the end of your race. If you get spun and no car, that's it. You probably go a lap down most places. But so yeah, I'll be the agent of chaos, like Tunda said, and
And
go no cautions only.
we do that on road courses already, so it's not super outlandish. It's not too far. They're a super big jump. It's something that we already do in some races because of um, the caution system in Heat 5, which is pretty much the same one we're dealing with now. So yeah, the no cautions that came from manual caution, the manual caution era. Um, and then on road courses, there's never going to be enough eyeballs, so we just shut them off.
I
I'm
um
back.
I don't think I could go all the way to that extreme as Crow just said. I think there's still be too many instances where a guy isn't driving aggressive, but he gets like his race screwed by somebody who is driving aggressive. And yeah, we can always penalize that guy who, ruined your race post race, but what does that do for you? I mean, you had your race ruined from the jump and there's no cautions, and it doesn't help your finish at all just because he gets penalized post race. So I don't think I would ever lean all the way to that side of no cautions. I think it works on road courses, yes, but as far as ovals and stuff like that, I don't think I could get on board with that. What you got your audio situation settled? Shockz?
Let's test it, shall we?
I mean, I can hear you
Test.
fine, but I don't know.
I know. I was trying to hear it through the stream.
I think I heard it
All
through
right,
the
we're
stream
good.
in your
We're good.
background.
Yep. All
Yeah.
right. So I guess I'm leaning more towards the fact of manual cautions. Like I know y'all keep preaching on it's the driver's authority. It's their responsibility to drive cleaner. It's their responsibility to be nice to each other. But it is very evident at the current time in our league that drivers are just not going to do that. They are refusing to do it. I think it's a little bit in both divisions. And it's kind of our job, our authority, our responsibility to condone and tighten that up when it is needed. And right now, I think it's needed with a game that can easily cause a lot of mistakes. So that's, and with the no ability to review race replays or to see clips and wrecks and cautions from any perspective other than the one sent in by a clip that happened during the race for somebody live streaming. I am for manual yellows and the fact that we hold guys accountable in the moment on the spot, and including the strike system where the more strikes you accumulate the worse the penalty gets. Right now that's just seems to be one of the only ways that we can fairly hold guys accountable during races and after races. I would love to do relaxed yells with manuals backed up, but I don't think we can do a strike system with relaxed cautions when those do come out.
So if we had manuals tonight, let's just say, and we had a strike system, do you think after those first couple cautions where manuals came out and people were given their strikes, do you think that would have cleaned it up a little bit?
I do, because with relaxed yellows, we lose 3 to 4 laps, we get going in under 40 seconds, and we're right back racing. And the one thing I do hate about manual yellows is taking
Prolongs the race.
5 to
Yeah.
7 minutes every yellow parking, but that
Mm-hmm.
respectfully instructs guys to understanding that they have to drive cleaner. That is a part of the rebuttal for everybody that they have to go through because they refuse to be patient and to give each other extra room when needed.
Well,
I
I
think
mean,
it's
I think that could be an argument for any system.
But in the
All right.
when manuals in the moment, we can penalize the guys who are the cause of the repercussion of the caution in the moment, compared to
Right.
50% chance we
That
see it
being the
after the race
difference.
from a clip.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for the question. I believe that was from
Good
Midnight.
question.
Appreciate the question. I know you had another one, Shockz.
I do. The other caution, when I find it, remembering which group chat I sent it in. Um, what? So this is going to relate probably more so to us. Resolves the graboid package. What can be done better to control pushing on the bottom from a driver's standpoint and an officiating standpoint?
I'll go.
So basically, it's in reference to the graboid, like how can we better regulate if the guy second in line on the bottom is illegally pushing? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, I won't go
Hmm.
first then.
No, go ahead because
Because we
I don't
don't
really
use the
have a good answer.
graboid in
Oh, okay,
trucks
yeah.
at all, and I don't at Atlanta. I don't think it would affect the racing whatsoever. Even when there was a train of cars heavily saving, and you could tell there were guys that just wanted to go, they just would not form a second line. They would just pile into the back of the train. So that second line just never had a chance to form. I don't know if that's just the a shift in mentality that comes with the skill level of the cup guys, with the confidence to be able to hold it up there, or what that is. But Talladega and Daytona, I don't know how we would enforce that, and that's part of why we're not doing that in the truck series.
So I think the perfect answer, which isn't realistic, especially right now, would be to have spectate mode, and then have somebody,
Hmm.
Yeah.
a race official admin, who's not racing in spectate mode, and to
Yeah.
call it out. But even that would be hard because where would you get that admin from? Would
Yeah,
it be somebody not
spectate
racing?
mode would solve so many problems, but it would open up so many other windows. Like, do we get a second night so we can have another
Right,
set of
right,
admins out not racing so they can be in that
right,
spectate mode? Um,
right.
how do we do a broadcast? All that type of stuff. It's definitely a rabbit hole, but it's definitely a tool I absolutely miss.
Yeah, so until we get that, I mean, that we're kind of got our hands tied. The best thing that we can really do is just be vigilant in calling it out. If you're one of the guys that's up there in those first couple rows and you see it going on, that's just what you got to do. You got to call it
Yeah.
out. But then you got people saying I wasn't doing it, I was doing it, I was like, yeah, I get it.
I
I
was
don't
getting
think there's a perfect
pushed. I was
solution to it
lifting.
right now. Yeah, I don't think there's a perfect solution to it right now. But I can't deny that it does seem to produce better super speedway racing. What do you say, Crow?
Yeah, I would agree. I think kind of it kind of disturbs the kind of the boring single file running around the bottom at most places. Um, yeah, but as far as kind of policing it, it's kind of a razor edge there. A lot of it's on the drivers to call it out when they see it. I know tonight I've seen a few people say something or they noticed it, but they didn't exactly speak up about it in the Discord. So yeah, I think it's part on the drivers and then part on the admins to kind of if we see it and it's just not being followed to kind of enforce it from there. As we see fit. Shockz, Tunda,
I think it's Tata. It's
Taylor.
Tata. Okay, man. Real
So
quick, include your audio for just a second. Okay,
he sent
okay,
his
we
picks
got
to
your
me.
picks.
He sent his picks to me.
Okay,
We're
all
good.
right, man. Appreciate it, Tata.
Thank you, sir.
Take it
Yep.
easy.
Thank you. Um,
All right. Did we all cover that
I
that
think I
question?
was the last one. I think we were gonna
Okay,
roll on, but I
go
was
ahead.
I was just gonna say that I agree with you. I think I take the graboid package over not having to worry about reinforcing it at all. Most of the time, it is just respected by all the members, but sometimes guys forget or lose track of the moment or whatever it is. But typically, it's held accountable by all the guys around. Um, I will say I felt at moments tonight there was moments where guys were hovering or being a little too close to the lead car when they shouldn't have been. But I don't know if we're going to find any concrete evidence against that at the time being towards the beginning of stage three. But most of the time, we just hold each other accountable. And like you said, it would be the dream job of having a admin be there spectating and holding accountable as he sees it in a spectator mode. But the odds of that is just incredibly unlikely and very hard to come by. But I take it for what we have right now, and it's the best we can do.
I didn't even think about this until this question just came in, but in the brief time that I was running up front tonight, I I I I can't remember. Like I had to be second in line on the bottom at some point. I mean, I ran right around there for probably 5, 10 laps. But I'll be honest with you guys. I don't think I thought about the graboid one time. But it's mainly because I was like, I had my hands full,
There's a lot
just
going
not like
on.
I had my hands full just like trying to not wreck. Like I
Hmm.
really felt uncomfortable tonight. Like I did not feel stable at all. So I was just trying not to ruin anybody's races. I'll have to go back and look. I'm interested to see like if even I might have like pushed the leader on the bottom at one point and not even been paying attention. Be something I have to go back and look at. Um, but was there any other mailbox questions, Shucks, or was that it?
I think that was it, at least from what I received.
Okay. All right, so that'll wrap up HRL Mailbox. I appreciate you guys, as always, for sending in your questions for us. Um, the next thing we got here, I think we're just going to move on to, yeah, Gateway. Gateway in Martinsville. So we're going to Gateway next week. It'll be race 5 on the schedule. 5 out of 14 that'll be in the regular season. Um, and then the truck side, they will be going to Martinsville. So a couple shorter tracks next week. Trucks at the Paperclip, us at WWT. Anything noteworthy? Let's start with Tunda on the truck side. Anything noteworthy that you're looking at heading into Martinsville?
I am going to be looking at a lot of things. We're probably going to have to be pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Scrutinizing, I guess. We're going to have to be a little bit more strict. That's the word. Because we already know short track tempers are gonna be a little high. Blood pressures will be up there. I'm absolutely going to be watching for retaliation and aggressive driving, but also we know accidents happen. But we're definitely going to have to be on our toes, me and Dirk, when we roll into Virginia next week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't usually. I've just had a lot on my plate this season, so I haven't gone back and watched the truck races as much as I have in the past. I generally enjoy watching them, even it not being the series that I'm in. I get a lot out of going back and checking them out. But this might be one this season that I might actually have to check out. We're not going to Martinsville on the Cup side. And I'm interested to see like how the truck guys perform there at the paperclip.
It's a
On
fun
the Cup
track.
side, yeah, on the Cup side, Gateway is actually a track that I generally always have higher on my track rankings than most. It's a track that I actually really enjoy, even though a lot of times the people that I talk to aren't really on my side with that. They don't really care for it. But it's probably one of my favorite. What is it? It's a mile track, right? Mile.
Right over a mile, maybe. It's a little. I
Yeah, I
think it's a
think it's
little
like
longer.
a mile and a quarter, maybe.
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
even on Heat 5 and even going to Gateway last season, it's just a track that I've really enjoyed. Maybe it just fits my style a little bit, but I'm definitely looking forward to this week. I'm personally coming off a couple lackluster performances, so I'm looking to hopefully rebound next week and at least sneak in back into that top 10 a little bit. Um, should be some good racing. What do you think, Shockz?
Yeah, based on the very limited laps I've done there, which has not been a lot. Heavy braking zones. The car feels more sturdy on the exits from what I can tell. I believe it's a tighter race car. Of course, with the setups, will make it completely different. But I expect a decent race, but a race that is going to be tough to pass. That is
I,
my educated guess.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I think you did we finish 1-2 at Gateway last season? I think you beat me.
That was one of Cone's best tracks on Heat 5, so I highly doubt it. But I guess it's possible.
Hmm. I know I had like a good finish, and I thought you were up there too, but it might have been Cone. What about you, Crow? You looking forward to Gateway? What are you looking? What are you, what will you have your eye on going into WWT?
For Gateway, just the heavy braking aspect of it. I think this will be one of our first tracks all season where you're really going to have to use the brakes a lot. Um, so just kind of hoping guys are nice to each other. Hopefully we can all get spread out pretty quickly, so we're not running over each other on those early laps. Um, and then for trucks at Martinsville, it's just going to be one of those races. Hopefully everybody can keep their heads straight, not let their tempers get to them, uh, as all short tracks tend to be. Um, things get hot and heavy, and people start yelling at each other. We all kind of know how that goes. But yeah, I'm kind of optimistic, hoping everything goes green and we have no cautions next week. Shocks?
Well, I did already answer it. But
No,
love the throw. Back to me.
back to
Uh,
you.
are we back to? Are we at picks now, Nilla?
Yeah, we
Um,
can. Let's before we dive into our personal picks. I see that you
I sent
updated
you. Yeah,
the
if you want to
yeah.
upload that, that's all I could.
Yeah, so Shock sent me over the standings for the fantasy elimination picks through 3 weeks. We have Shox himself leading by quite a large margin there with 259. He got 51 points out of Line Cone last week and 54 out of Mud Flap. So really kind of hard to do any better than that. Scarecrow is currently in second with 196. So that would be 63 points back. He had Seabake with 40 last week and myself with 17. Kind of foreshadowed that I was going to have a bad race there, and it came to fruition. Tunda is 11 points back in third. Well, 11 points back of Scarecrow. in third with 187. He had Dirty Fox score him 33 last week and 24 from Typhon on the cup side. So he had two kind of like middle of the road performances there, and he sits in third. The guest comes in fourth ahead of me, so I'm sitting in fifth. But the guest is right on the bumper, or I should say, there of Tunda and Crow. The three of them are only separated by a total of 12 points. Guest being 3 points back of Tunda and 9 and 12 back of Crow. The guest last week was, who was it?
Alex.
Uncle Alex. Yeah, Alex. Yeah, he only got 9 points from Dirk, so kind of a hard luck pick there. Dirk's usually a guy who's going to score a minimum, probably 30. So he got bit there with only 9 from Dirk, but he did get 40 from Stein on the cup side. And then kind of similar for me. I'm at 151 points total, which is 108 back of the lead. Rough start for me. I also only got 10 points on the truck side. I had Chase, and then I also had Stein on the cup side give me 40. So me and the guests were kind of equal there. So heading into Gateway and Martinsville next week, I have a lot of ground to make up. Seems like there's a tight battle for second, third, and fourth, and then Shockz is kind of out in front by a little ways. I guess I'll start. I am going to go. Shockz kind of mentioned it, and I think it's true. I think Gateway is one of Cone's better tracks. He's got a handful that he seems really strong at. This is one of them. Charlotte's another, off the top of my head, but I'm going to actually steal both of Shock's picks from last week. He took Cone on the cup side, and he took Mudflap on the... Or he took... Oh, you had them backwards. That's why... You had Cone on the truck column and Mudflap on the cup
I rushed
column.
it. My fault.
Yeah. So I'm going to take Cone on the cup side and Mudflap on the truck side. Those two combined to score Shock's 105 points last week. So I'm going to hope that they can put together something similar for me. One reason why I'm going to go with Mudflap on the truck side is because I don't really know who's good at short tracks, to be honest with you, in trucks. I think I have a feel for it on the cup side. I don't really have a feel for it on the truck side.
It's the
So
road
I'm just
course
gonna go.
guys and the cup guys.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go with the guy who's leading the points in trucks currently, and just see if he can keep up that momentum and get me a good finish. Who do you? Or actually, let's Shockz, you want to go ahead and throw Tato's picks in here real quick?
Yes. He chose Blue Star for cup, and then he is going Mudflap for the trucks.
Okay, so he's following my
Pretty
my
close.
lead
Blue
there.
Star
So
is a good pick. They should be strong
he's
there,
got
I
Cup
guess.
Blue Star. Cup Blue Star, we mentioned him earlier, been running strong, and then on the truck side, Mudflap. All right, who do you got, Tunda?
I'm gonna go with I already forgot who I picked.
Stein.
Thank you. I'm gonna go with Stein and Mustang. I haven't picked Stein yet. He's been running up front all season. Got to take a swing up there. And then Mustang, I think this is going to be the week that he finds his legs. He's always been good at the short tracks, and when he was in the
How did Mustang do
Xfinity
tonight?
division back in the day,
Out of curiosity.
he was all right. I can't remember where he finished, but he was up. He's doing well in the draft. I saw him got beat up a bit in stage one, but he must have rebounded quite a bit. But yeah, I think next week he's gonna get that straightened out. I think his last Xfinity race there, he won by most of a lap, and then he moved up to the Cup Series after that before he merged divisions. So I think this is his week.
Who do you got, Crow?
All right, for Cup, I have Tyreek. He's shown some pretty good speed here these first few weeks. So I'm hoping he can do a little bit of gaining for me on Shockz. And then for my truck pick, I'm going to go with Midnight. Um, he's had a rough start to the year. Some of his doing, some not. But I've kind of talked to him at a pre-race each of the past few weeks, trying to just talk to him with a level head, just try to get him on the right path. And he got a top 10 tonight. Got some stage points, so I'm was happy for that. He told me he's put hundreds of laps each week to try to stay with the front pack. So I'm gonna go with midnight. Shockz.
All right.
I'm going for two little more oddball picks, I would say. Not guys' names you hear every week, but I'm going to go Bryn for the Cup Series, and then I'm going to go up top for the trucks.
Right. I believe somebody else took up top once already this season too. I think the guest might have picked
Yeah, I
him
think so.
And then just to kind of go over our picks tonight real quick. I had Tyreek on the Cup side. We haven't added these points to the totals yet, obviously, but I had Tyreek on the Cup side. He did come away with a top 10. I'm not sure how many stage points he had, but it seemed like he had a solid race. And then Jack, it seems like he struggled. So it kind of seems like I had a mixed bag of results there another week in a row. Crow had Pumps on the Cup side. I believe he had a rough race, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't think an ideal one.
And then Tall Mike was on the truck side. I'm not sure how he did.
I don't know if he raced.
Did Tall Mike race, Tunda?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. No, he was out today. He had a deal.
Okay, so it sounds like Crow had a pretty lackluster week. Tunda had Twinkie. I believe he had a pretty rough race, if I'm not mistaken. And then you had Uncle Alex. How'd Uncle Alex do?
I can't remember even seeing him today. I know he was in the race because he was in the roll call, but I do not remember seeing him on track at all. Let me see here. He ended up, oh no, 14th.
Okay, well, not bad.
I was
How many did y'all
scrolling and I
have in
didn't
the
see his
race?
name yet.
How many did y'all have in the race?
27.
Okay, good numbers tonight. I believe we had
Best one
27
yet,
as
I
well.
believe. I think
28?
we
I think
might
we
have
had
had 28
28.
in one race,
Yeah.
but good numbers.
Alright, so it sounds like Tunda had a little, like an average week there with Twinkie and Uncle Alex. Shockz picked NLS. He won, so sounds like he's gonna build on that points lead. He had Tunda on the truck side. Where did you come in?
I got P7.
You'll love to see it.
Yeah, yeah. I think a first and a seventh is gonna be enough for Shockz to
P6.
be the leading scorer this week. Yeah,
Shockz guy just
Um,
might know what he's doing.
it appears so. He's a great friend and he's a great fantasy elimination picker. I mean, what can't this guy do? Uh, and then the guest, Uncle Alex, also had NLS, so good week for him on the Cup side. And then he had Dirty Fox on the truck side. Where did he come in?
P2.
Oh, wow. So the guest gets a P1 and a P2.
Wow.
Sounds like he might even jump from fourth. The guest might jump from fourth to second this week, if I had to guess,
Sounds like it.
based on that. So, and then obviously I'm still in the basement. I got work to do. Come on, Cone and Mudflap next week. I need y'all to dig me out.
Star-studded lineup.
They need to do
But,
what to you?
Yeah.
Oh,
But I think that just about covers everything. Did you guys want to add anything before we go?
Just a note that when you're coming back onto the track, please do it safely, especially when there's a big speed difference and there's cars coming, because that's going to be at the very least looked at, if not just going to get you a penalty flat out.
Okay.
Uncle Alex won a
Shockz, Crow,
stage.
y'all got anything?
Uncle Alex won a stage tonight.
Ooh, there we go. Go shout out Uncle Alex. Might have been his
Sure.
first of the season or maybe career. I don't know. But either way, that's a big for him. Our guest from last week. Yeah, for me, I mean, I just as I do every week, I look forward to the next Tuesday. Whether I run bad or run good, I'm just always looking ahead. So I'm excited to see what WWT brings next week on the Cup side, and then like I said, the Martinsville race should be interesting to go back and watch on the truck side. I know that we did have a few penalties this week, myself being one of them. I don't think we need to go over each one, but just a reminder, guys, just just be respectful and conscious of the guys out there on the track. We don't want to have to keep handing out these penalties at all. It's just unfortunately the only option that we're left with to try and clean up the racing a little bit. I'm sure that we will probably be receiving clips this week, and we'll have to go back and hand out a few more. But yeah, let's clean it up and get back to the weeks where we have no penalties. I guess that's my biggest thing. That's what we want to see in the end. But that's all I got. All right, so I guess that'll be it. Thank you guys for tuning in to HRL Report Episode 6. We really appreciate it as always. We do this for you guys, and we'll see you after the races next week for Episode 7. Y'all have a good night.